please try to
Yeah.
tailor your CVs into different things.
Yeah.
I don't like telling some people that you don't have to have just one CV. That's the funny thing. For a managerial position, you can pick one particular, like fine tune your CV for that particular role. For some other things, you can just fine
Yeah.
tune your CV. But what I've actually seen right now is that maybe imagine what is it called? In my job advert, I already clearly stated 7 to 11 years experience, and you actually have just 2 years experience, you are applying. Why? You guys are stressing us.
The way you said you guys, you added me to the group chat. You guys,
Like,
because I'm part of you. I'm
why?
part of them. Let me tell you something. I applied
Why?
for the role of a co-founder recently. Co-founder. I saw it there. They said 18 years
You
plus
are
of
very
experience. I
audacious.
applied. Have you met what God cannot do does not what? It does not exist.
Hey fam, you're listening to Becoming You, the podcast for adults figuring it out. Now let's get into it. I'm an adult. What am I supposed to do?
Welcome back to another episode, my friends. This is the Becoming You podcast where we talk about all things adulting. And today we're about to record another banger episode. I have a very special guest with me. Her name is Tofunmi. Tofunmi, can you kindly introduce yourself? Who are you? What do you do?
Okay, thank you very much, Vicky. So, my name is Tofunmi. I'm currently in HR, Human Resources. I've been in HR
Mm-hmm.
for more than 5 years. Yes, I like to say more than
Already?
5 years. Yes, because I started
Oh, that's
in
true.
during my NYSC, exactly. NYSC
We are
and
old now, bro.
oh my God, yes, we are.
So how are you doing? How are you? How has the new year been? I mean, it's been a week or and some days. So like, how are you really?
Ah, good. New year. Work. Nigeria, no break and everything. So everyone is like, we're trying to hit targets, goals, trying to actually just
Target
ensure that, yes,
already?
targets for the year. Yes. we
Oh
are
my
like, we
god.
actually like, we're still, yeah. So targets already. I think for HR, our targets are usually trying to close roles or like people who are in sales. So the
Yeah.
recruitment already, even during the break, the holidays, there was
Mm-hmm.
still a lot of recruitment, hiring, and all of that. So yes, targets are already set in stone already.
Oh, that's interesting. But yeah, I have a theory actually. I believe like January to the first quarter is like a very hot period when it comes to like getting a job and hiring like new people. Is that true? Like, are you guys really searching for candidates more at the beginning of the year than any other period? Or is my theory a lie?
So the reason why it looks like it's generally not a lie. So the reason why it looks like where HRs are currently maybe looking to close out roles more in the first quarter is because I think everyone actually has this mindset of, I don't want to start, maybe I don't want to start I don't start the new year in quotes in like, sorry, in where I'm currently working. So I want to actually start
Yeah.
like I want to start, this job, and I want to start my new year with, I have like this new job, post on LinkedIn. Like I have this set out plans already for myself. I have these targets and goals I
True.
actually want to achieve. So you actually end up finding people trying to leave their jobs at the end of the quarter and at the beginning of the quarter. So for at the end of the quarter, they're trying to, start a new job in January because maybe they've seen Shige
Mm-hmm.
Banza where they're coming from. And
Yeah, and I think there's also the new me, new energy as well. You're like, okay, I've taken a lot of bullshit
yes,
this year. Next year, I'm not taking it again. I just need to leave and move on. So that makes sense,
yeah.
actually. It makes sense. But outside of work, are you okay then? Did anything exciting happen like this week?
I'd say it was just work. I had people who resigned.
Oh, God,
Yes, this
HR's
week.
nightmare.
So yeah, I think maybe for me, pretty much of work. Yes, from Monday to
Mm.
now, work. Yeah, Sunday church, and I really don't have like a very very big social life like that. So it's not usually work
Yeah.
and church.
It's always been like that, actually. It has always been like that.
Yes.
But we'll get into it later. I guess I want to ask you some this or that question. And I want you to give me
Okay.
like very simple answers. You don't have to explain anything. Just answer. If I want
Yeah.
to hear more, I would ask you more questions. So the first one is virtual interviews or in-person interviews. Which do you prefer?
Virtual.
Why? Now I
I
want to
thought
know
you said you're not going
why.
to answer any question.
I said no, I
So
said you
in
don't need to
virtual,
tell me more, then I would ask you if I want to hear more, but I want to hear more.
okay.
So why?
Okay, virtual interviews because I've always liked working virtually. I think it's just my own personal thing. So I can just like, do other things while I actually listen to you. And the virtual interviews, I can like it's usually more timed, so I can just get every information I want to get from you, and not have to like not actually have you to explain over and over again. And most of the time, I think for me personally, I tend to look at people's facial expression and everything, and I might start overthinking. So when I see you physically, I don't want to be too biased. So that's actually just me.
Yeah.
So for virtual
Oh.
interviews, like it's just more of like we're just talking.
Structured interviews or just freestyling and just having like a good conversation? Which is your style?
I'd say both because it depends on the role I'm trying to close. For entry levels, I'm usually more into structured because it's actually a way that's going to just a particular place. I know what I actually want from them already.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of experience, but for persons in at mid levels and very very experienced, I want to like get a lot from you. So sometimes I may even go off scripts to just actually just get to know you more.
Do you review CV first or LinkedIn profile first?
Maybe. Yes, I check your CV first before I go and check you out on LinkedIn,
Or
because
LinkedIn?
okay,
Oh.
yeah. So I check your CV. Like your CV is actually used. Your CV is actually the first thing about you. In on your LinkedIn, you can actually even lie, and I think even a lot of people don't even have their LinkedIn updated.
Yeah,
So
there's
probably
that.
if I'm actually head on scene, then I would need to go and check your LinkedIn profile. But let's say for anything, if I actually want to even just for any roles, I'm checking your CV first.
Oh, it makes sense actually, because I mean we're sending our CVs to you, not our LinkedIn
Yeah.
profile. So like it just makes sense to check the CV first. So the next one is skills or attitudes. Which captivates you more?
Skills. It has to be your skills. Sorry, I don't know. Maybe
Oh.
because of I studied psychology. I tend to. You
Mm-hmm.
can always package. You will package yourself in when you're actually having interviews. Like there's always packaging. But when I see your skills, when I can actually ask you questions from your skills, I can pick out what I need to know from your skills. So not your
Mm.
attitude. The attitude actually comes after.
Oh, okay, okay. So the last question is, I know you're not expecting this question. Do you prefer cooking your own food? Like, do you prefer to cook your own meals, or would you rather order in? I know the answer already, actually, but
Oh my God, you want to cast me on social media?
I know
Order,
the answer
sorry,
already.
I am so lazy.
I know the answer
I
already.
don't
I was
want to
like,
cook. I don't want to cook breakfast, lunch, dinner. Please just order me some food,
when
please.
I was writing the question, I was like, I know the answer. Okay, so backstory, friends. I and Tofunmi were bunkmates in uni, first year. And I don't know, I've never really known you to be somebody that loves cooking. So I was like, when I was writing this question, I was like, I know the answer. Let me just ask her. Okay, so you study psychology, and even in school, yeah, like you explained, your life was basically church, studying, and you made friends in those two environments. And she's a very social person. That's an aside. Anyway, Tofunmi is one person that likes talking psychologically, like psychologically speaking. You know, those kind of people that when they're studying a course, you get to know that, oh, this person is actually studying this course. And I want to know, like, now you're in HR, how did you find yourself there? Because I was expecting you to be elsewhere, sort of. But when I was preparing for this episode, I saw a connection because you work with a lot of psychology, talking to people, seeing beyond their body language and their packaging, like you termed it. So, how has your journey been?
Wow. So backstory. The story is very long, but let's just keep it short.
Yeah.
I put in for economics in OAU, but you know OAU now. So yes, I got psychology, and I think I was really overwhelmed because it was actually what do I want to do next? Thank God, I had an elder sister who was very she's someone that I'll say my elder sister knows it all. Like she's someone that she actually had a lot of friends that could actually guide me, would actually ask
Mm-hmm.
questions from everybody. My father would actually let me went to go and check online what is psychology. So I think actually I had a very good family that was actually there to support. I've always been someone that I've loved children. So I just said, you know what,
Mm-hmm.
I'll just go do child psychology. Let's say the end of third year, I met this one of our professors, Dr. Lashukwu and Dr. Akoni, and they were in charge of organizational psychology. So and
Oh.
it was not one of our like very important courses. It was either you picked organizational psychology or child psychology. So I done child psychology like back to back, back to back. I know I had friends that were just saying, this organizational psychology is good though. And I'm like, what is that?
Yeah.
Let us shall do it. Let's just
See.
do it. And I
Mm-hmm.
went to the first class, and it was wow.
Hmm.
It was just a lot. Like, when you start having like more knowledge, like you are really, really more inclined to what they are saying. And I was like,
Yeah.
maybe like let's just see how it goes. Like it was just very in depth in like it wasn't just like normal psychology. I was hearing about organization, impacting people, training,
Yeah.
performance, engagement, organizational culture, like a lot of things. And this man is someone that he carries organizational psychology on his head. Like he doesn't joke
Hmm.
with it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I wanted to draft in my 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 thesis, I don't want to call it thesis, my just my topic, the man just called me and just started asking questions. Like, what do you want to do? I said, I want to do child psychology, or maybe I'll just go into psychiatry and everything. No, I was just like, no. You look like someone that is going to do organizational psychology. Have you heard about human resources? And I'm like, what's that? Like, what's that? And it was just like, so he started explaining a lot of things. Like he just
Mm-hmm.
explained in depthly. So I just felt like someone saw me. Like before I could actually see myself, someone else actually
Yeah.
saw me. He was ready to mentor. I was still not convinced that me I'm going to do anything human resource. I was like, nothing for
Yeah.
sign me. Even my topic, my project topic was actually about school children. That's how I say
Oh,
Golimapa Ed.
you're
Nothing
you're
concern
actually a
me.
stubborn person. Strong-willed. That's what they call it.
Yes.
Strong-willed.
So and then just it just felt as if this was actually it was my calling. Yeah, I think I'll say calling or purpose because then it was time to go for NYSC. I was remember that I was saying,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I'll serve in Lagos, this and that. But lo and behold, they threw me
Mm-hmm.
for Akwa Ibom.
Akwa Ibom.
Another
Yeah, that's
yes,
true.
another story again. And my other sister also served in Akwa Ibom, and she was like, "You will love it." I did my 3 weeks
Mm-hmm.
camp. While it was like the last day when they gave me I think yeah they call it PPA. Everybody was getting schools. I saw African Children Aid Development Education Foundation. I'm like, waiting with this. This is like an NGO. This and that, like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
oh, let's just go and do this. And I got there, did what I did. I got someone that was also like a psychologist too, Mr. Orok. I started meeting friends and I met one of my friends. His name is Aziz. He was actually more of like an admin person and a farmer. He will tell you that he always tell
Yeah.
you like you have to look beyond your scope, look beyond a lot of things. I met someone and he was like, "What's your plan after school?" And I said, sorry,
NYC.
after
Uh-huh.
NYSC. And I'm like, well, is this same child psychology? And I was like, that you can actually see your child psychology. I still love children. Like I'm not seeing this as a career for you. I'm seeing this as more of like you just love children naturally. Like so you don't have to like
Yeah.
really there's a difference between you having a career in this now, you actually having passion. Then they made me this head of copper or something. I had to like find ways to like maybe bring in more coppers. That was how recruitment came. Like that was actually
Yeah.
how recruitment came in like that. I was like, oh, people like, whatever,
Oh, so you're already recruiting from
yeah.
NYC.
Exactly. And I did
Oh,
not even know what I was doing. So like once more like,
yeah.
we need more people. Okay, maybe for some other people who wanted to go to other PPAs because I know me, like you
Mm-hmm.
said, I'm a very sociable person. I'd actually made friends. Oh, you want to serve in so and so place. I think I know one particular school that is looking for this particular thing. Yeah, go here. So that was actually how it
Yeah.
was for me. And I didn't know that I was already doing it, but I wasn't doing it full time. Then the admin part of
Mm-hmm.
HR was actually like managing a lot of things, even in the NGO itself. And it was like, I think I was just doing all of these things without knowing. And when the person was like, that's what are you currently doing? I don't know. I know when you're just telling somebody everything you're actually doing. The person was like, this is a part of human resources that you are doing. And I'm like,
This is
because
HR.
I also needed to
Yeah.
also manage, I also needed to manage some of the staff sometimes, right? So maybe it's whenever there were individual differences, they'll come and call me. You hear, it's psychologist, to go and call the psychologist, let her sort out everything with the
Mm-hmm.
children, with the staff themselves. And I'm like, okay, no problem. This is actually the HR. Let us just do it. One of my friends introduced me to a course from China Institute of Human Resource Management.
Yeah.
Me doing that course, I think it was just like a mind opener. I understood
Yeah.
that I was already doing this thing already. I already had passion for this thing without even knowing. And I think it just hits me. So I was just juggling both HR and
And
psychology.
psychology. At the end of the day, you're still using like your psychology degree. It's just in a different way, not the way you had envisioned it, but like it's happening. It's not with
Um,
children, but now it's with adults in the
yeah,
organization. And like you said, I didn't even know
yeah,
there was something like organizational psychology. That's very
yeah.
interesting. That's really, really
Uh,
interesting.
I got another job in a consulting firm, and I started as I actually interned there, and I think that one even gave me like more eye opener because the NGO was more of like I was chilling.
Mm-hmm.
I was chilling, and I was doing recruitment back to back to back to back to back. And I was like, oh my, this thing, it's not looking as if it's beginning to get easier. But I was doing recruitment, I was doing training and development, I was doing performance management. Like it was just like I think I say for me, everywhere I was going to, it just felt like I just had people that were just pushing me and pulling me. I felt that even if you want to run away,
Yeah.
you will still do this. Then from start consulting, I got a job with Jobberman, and yeah, I was a
Mm-hmm.
Jobberman for 3 years. So I did like a lot
Three
in
years.
Jobberman, like yes, 2 years.
Oh.
That's just really my background story in HR. I'll say HR found me. I did not because I was really not interested. I was interested to some
Well,
extent, but in the child parts, yeah.
anyway, do you know something is the next question I would have asked you was like, how has the journey
Yeah.
been so far? But you already gave me like the full gist, like the full
Yeah.
answer. And something I noticed is your 1 year in NYC, you maximized that 1 year.
Yes.
You did not you did not like stay idle or anything. You used it to like find purpose, and you kept your hands so busy. You were dipping your hands in
Yeah.
everything, and that was how you were able to find
Being.
what really connected with you, and that was how in quotes HR found you and kidnapped you
Yeah.
away from
Yeah.
child psychology. Yeah, so it sounds
Yeah.
like it's really been fun, and it sounds like it's been an exciting journey for you. I mean, like in a way too, you've had career progression in that line, starting as an
Yeah.
intern to moving to Jobberman where you had to just recruit full time and stuff. Okay, so I have two like interviews, like interview experiences that have
Mhm.
shaped how I approach interviews now. The
Mhm.
two are like the very first one I ever did in my life, and the second one is the very first one that gave me a job. So those are the two interviews. So the very first one I did in my life, I cried out of that interview. It was terrible, bro. It was terrible. So my dad dropped me at the interview at the company, and the company was at I think one toward like that at Lekki. So it was a very fine place. I was like, I have to work here. So the interviewer asked me a series of questions, but he asked me one particular question that really threw me off guard. It was like, what's your salary expectation? Before going there, I'd done my research, and they said they pay people around 120 to 150K. Then it was 2020, like I think January, like 2020. I'm just graduating, 120K. It felt like a lot of money to me at the time. So the guy was like, what do you want to earn? Because I already knew how much they paid, I wrote 120K on the paper because he passed me a paper. I wrote 120K, and it was like, you can't even like, bargain, just say something, ask for something higher than this. Then he passed me the paper, he canceled the 120 that she request for a different figure. I was like, 120 is okay. And the guy was just looking at me. It was so dumbfounded. He was like, talk. Let's have a back and forth here. And I couldn't because at the
Mhm.
point I did not know my worth. And it felt like they were doing me a favor by giving me that job. I just needed that 120K. It was okay for me. But he was so disappointed. He could not keep it to himself. And he told me, he said, you have a low bargaining power. He said it to me. And I started crying in front of him, bro. I started crying in front of him. It was very, very terrible. And the second interview experience that that has shaped how I approach interview today is the one that gave me a job. So that one, God gave me two opportunities with that particular interview. The first time, it was an interview with two people, the founder and like the co-founders. And when we started the interview now, they were asking questions. I was a bit like scared. I was not really like, I was not free. I was doing like a question and answer segment and stuff. Then fortunately for me, my network went out and they were like, I just like dropped from the interview. And I sent them a message because it was for a remote role. This guy's based in the US, a US company. And I sent them an email that, I'm sorry, my internet drops. Can we reschedule and stuff? Then they rescheduled. So that phase, like that point of me dropping out of the meeting to the point where I had to like take the interview again, a lot of things changed. I saw that these people were just human beings like me. Like they're not going to bite me. I should be more comfortable and more confident. And when we had the second like interview, I was talking to them like they're my G's. I just entered
Yeah.
very confidently. Like I was so confident, and I was like, how are you guys? They were like, oh, I'm fine. How are you? I speak Portuguese. Say something in Portuguese. Then I said something in Portuguese. One of them who's learning Portuguese was like, yo, you speak Portuguese. So it was like very crazy. It was very fun. And God willing, I got that job. And I even looking at the two interviews and just juxtaposing them, I can say one thing that's changed is my confidence level. In one of the interviews, I wasn't confident. The other one, I was, and I saw like the huge difference. And now I approach interviews as like conversations where I'm just talking to people that are human beings, and they are like, I feel like they too are very anxious. And I want to ask you this question now. I've heard it a lot of times that HR still are very anxious, and they also prepare for like interviews the way we prepare for it. So I want to know, I want you to share first your first interview experience, the one that stood out to you. How was it like interviewing somebody? How was it like being on the other side? And do you get really anxious before interviews? And do you think confidence also plays like a great role in how you see a candidate? So, three questions there. Your first interview experience, the one that stood out to you. Then, do you get anxious before your interviews? And three, do you think confidence is like a great differentiator?
Okay, so the first one, I'm not going to use when I was in
NYSC.
NYSC.
Yeah.
Yes, because I said those were really more chilled, and I had like people, like I had like senior representatives around me to just
Mm-hmm.
like to really guide me. So I wasn't doing the interviews myself back to back. So I'd say the first few interview I did was when I was in consulting. I mean, full yes, in consulting firm. And this one I had. I'd say thank God. Yeah, thank God for God because I had people that were like God just placed strategic people. Like yes, God just placed
What
strategic
happened? I
people.
want to hear this story. The way you're sighing, the way you're just
So
sighing.
I had, I had the head of HR just called me one day and just said like after my first week and just said
Yeah.
Tofunmi would have like a massive interview. So you'll be going for you're going to be hosting a working interview for this and I was like shame me. Like, is it like, do you mean like me? Like, why not? Why can't Tolani go? She was like, no,
Yeah.
this and that. And I'm like, and I was like, eh, God, I was so anxious. My heart was like, was just me, me that I'm just starting
Mm-hmm.
my life out. What is all of this? And when I say thank God for God is because Tolani wrote like everything down for me, questions. Like
Oh,
she prepped me. And that's why I said me, I'm just really saying that I think I'm just a lucky girl. I had people that were just
yeah.
there for me. Like she prepped me. She said, ask this question, ask that question. Even from the very first phone conversations, because when HR actually call you, we already started interviewing you from the phone conversation. She told me what to say. She told me she told me responses of like how we're going to respond. She told me how it was. I was still scared though, to be sincere. I was still very, very scared. I think
Yeah.
the second week they told me to do like another interview for a higher level role. And I was like, okay, you know what? Tolan, please just stay with me. So I think that's how I was able to wing it. And just stay with me.
Yeah.
So I think for my whole entirety of Posad Consulting, that's the name of the firm. Posad
Mm-hmm.
Consulting was I had Tolani just by my side, just
Yeah.
guiding me. Like I would never let her go. Even to now, we're still like very close
Oh,
because
that's so sweet.
because she seemed like a baby girl. Like she was carrying me like an egg. Sometimes she'll say, no, man, this
Mm-hmm.
Tofumi has to do this. Tofumi has to I'm just gonna stay with Tofumi and all of that. Then when I
Uh-huh.
got into Jobberman, my first interview was to interview my first yes it was to interview interns, and I think at that time I was really very confident. Yes, I was really very
Mm-hmm.
confident. I'd seen how my superiors were doing it. Yeah, I think I'll say with experience, with the fact that you're reading it over and over and over again, you being anxious, it just leaves you. So sometimes I don't even have to I can even go off script and I'm still trying to still navigate myself back to the script of questions I'm actually answering. Yeah, so right
Mm-hmm.
now I don't usually get anxious whenever I'm actually doing interviews because I'm just sometimes I may not even prepare. But when I see your CV, I know how to navigate. What HR do most of the time is that we linger on your answers to whatever questions that you
Yeah.
give. So if you are telling me about your skills, I can just straight to you that tell me about the time when you use the skills for so and so. Try to link your skills to the role that you're actually applying for, and I'll just find my way around questions. So most of the time, over time, it just feels like a conversation. And now back to confidence. Yes, confidence plays a very, very big role in whatever interviews you're actually doing because I like to
Mm-hmm.
tell my other HRs that while you're actually interviewing the candidate is also interviewing you. That's just the funny
Oh
thing.
yes.
Yes. So because there are a lot of times when if you are like if the candidates perceive something, even after you feel like you want to bring them in for the job, they can tell you that you know what, I didn't feel it. I think I've heard of someone that maybe I think she was trying to bring in the lady, and the lady was like, I'm not feeling. I didn't feel the interview, so I don't think your organization is actually a place that you can actually work in. So yes, so
Yeah.
while you're actually interviewing the candidates also interviewing you. Some people are actually overconfident. They will ask you questions that to look as if you are the one that's actually sitting on the hot spot. So and yes,
Yeah.
confidence actually plays a very, very big role because even as at
Mm-hmm.
now, sometimes when I've noticed that even whenever I go for other interviews, and probably maybe I'm even the one that is I'm actually the candidate in quotes, and I'm not
Mm-hmm.
confident. Yes, I've gotten feedback that you're not confident. Why? Like you can't speak well. So yes, confidence. Sometimes you can say you're rubbish. Say your jargons in confidence, but
Yeah. When you're saying it
don't overstay the
confidently.
jargons,
Mm-hmm.
shall. Yeah, I think my first key that I tell people is always prep for an
Uh-huh.
interview. Always prep for an interview.
Mm-hmm.
Look at yourself in the mirror, say a lot of things, because sometimes people feel like talking is easy. It's not. You can just start saying gibberish sometimes. Like, prepare
Yeah.
yourself. Go on. I think yes. AI is now very easy. You can just go to ChatGPT. What are the likely questions that can actually be asked for so and so role in so and so? ChatGPT will bring it to you, questions and answers. Then prepare. Say it over and over again. You can even put it. These are my skills. Try to connect my skills to this and that. So with that, you actually you start building your confidence already. And sometimes for some people, yeah, some people are usually very lucky. I'd say that when I started, when I was trying to get my first ever structured job after NYSC, it wasn't like I think I did like 4 or 5 interviews. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Before I got for that consulting, I did like a lot of interviews. I think there were even some that even after I got the job, they just told me, um, we found someone much more better than you. And I was like, is it that?
Oh,
Yeah, is it that maybe
yeah.
I'm not good enough? So sometimes and also another thing I like saying again is that if you don't get the job, that does not mean that you did not do well. So you also have to know
Yeah,
that you can
sure.
actually be very confident. You can know a
Mm-hmm.
lot, and maybe they can hire someone that you feel that no, this person, because there are a lot of things that HRs and interviewers are looking for. So you might think that somebody
Mm-hmm.
it might actually not be your skills. There are a lot of things they're actually looking for. So even at that, just be you, be confident. Yeah, becoming you. Yes. So be you, be confident, and just to do you.
Yeah, actually, and you said a lot of things. Like, firstly, it's good to put the HR on the spot as well. But I want to ask a
Yeah.
question. Do you think candidates can like talk too much? Have you met a talkative candidate, like a candidate that you have too much, and you're just like, can you go straight to the point already? You're stressing me. So I had an interview recently, and I feel like the guy that interviewed me must have felt this way. So I was too confident, yeah, and he asked me some questions, and I was giving him. Then we were just going on and on and on and on. And he was just looking at me like at some point I was like, Muti, fuck up. Like, this thing is not going well. I just had to finish what I was saying. And I think they sent me the rejection email the next morning. So I wanted to know, like, do you think there's a thing of talking too much when you're interviewing? And how would you suggest candidates should answer the questions? Do you want them to go straight to the point and not beat around the bush? Or yeah, because I think HR was actually zoned out of interviews. Yeah. So do you think there's a
Yeah.
thing of talking too much?
Yes, there is. So me, I like saying that whenever, like, if you are opportune to maybe pick a slot, because I think it's currently now, if you're opportune to like pick maybe a
Yeah.
slot for your interview time, I would say that you
Mm.
just pick the first three. Just like I'm telling you, pick the. In fact, if you want to do the pick the
Mm.
first two, because over time, sometimes some HRs they like I'll say that they do too much. Why would I go and bring in, like, I want to interview like 20 people in one day?
Yeah,
Seriously,
that's a
you get
lot.
tired, you get bored, you get tired. So
Yeah.
me, I like telling my people that, you know what, if you actually opportunity, like, maybe pick a time, you can actually ask them what is starting time, what is going to be the ending time. If they're willing to tell you, just pick that first three slots, because at that time the
Mm-hmm.
person is not getting tired. And yes, people actually, I'll say that don't overshare in
Yeah.
yes, in interviews. Don't overshare, because, and like I said, while they are interviewing you, also try to interview them. Look at their facial expression. If it's actually maybe if the camera the video is turned on, look at their facial expression. You will know when someone is already getting bored. And
You will
what me
know.
I actually
Yes.
also
But
try
you know
to
there are
advise
times that
is, yes, you will
you've
know.
yeah, that you fucked up so far in the conversation, like you've gone so far in the conversation that you cannot actually retrace your steps. You just have to fuck up till the end. Then you know that as I'm leaving this interview, you know you're never going to see that person again, bro. Because there's no turning back
Oh
at some
my
point. It's like it's
god.
already too late. Oh, just keep yapping, just continue
Yeah.
yapping, fuck up till the end. Honestly,
Yeah. So
really, yeah, but
what I try to advise people is that whenever they actually ask you the question, just look at it, state what the problem is. You can say how they actually ask
mm-hmm.
the question, say what the problem is. You can give like a background story and just give a solution. It's very simple. Problem, idea, solution. PIS. That's what me I try to do in
Mm,
my own interviews too. I would even tell you that, I have like 3 to 4 minutes. Just tell me how you did this, what idea you're able to resolve, and how you actually solved this. So sometimes I feel
mm,
like sometimes some HRs too, I don't know. I think everybody with individual differences. You necessarily don't have
yeah.
to You don't have to like maybe tell the person that me, I like a good story. So I think it also depends on the person you're actually talking to. Me, I'm
Oh
already a
yeah,
talkative. I am already a talkative. So when
true.
I enjoy very good conversation. So if you are talking to me, like it just turns out that we are actually gisting. And yes, I've met someone that's actually even that talked more than me. We had to chase the guy out of the the room because everybody was already bored, and I was like, even me self. I know the funny thing was that even at that, we picked that person.
Listen,
That's the funny
because
thing.
you see the energy as well. Like one of the best people I've ever worked with. She's like she interviewed me for a role I got last year. Very like she yaps a lot, and our interview was just we talking about every other thing. We spoke about the role, we spoke about the job, but we're gisting. Like we were gisting, and that's how she was at the company as well. Just like the energy would just like attract when you guys talk about
Yeah.
different things. And when I get into interviews, I like saying the first words. Like immediately the person is joining, I'm just like, oh, how are you? How's the weather over there? Are you good? I like just setting the I just want to
Pace.
set the pace for the conversation. Yes, exactly. I feel like it really helps me calm down, and it also helps the
Yeah.
person to calm down. So it's like, oh, okay, we're friendly. Yeah, let's take it slow. But yeah, I don't know if this works, yeah, because I get a lot of rejections as well. So I don't know if I'm doing it right.
No, so sometimes it's not usually how the interview has actually gone. Yeah, the interview actually helps you to know if you're going to be accepted or not. But sometimes it can also be the organizations themselves. There are a lot of things that actually play into. It's not usually just recruitment. A lot of things actually play into you bringing the person on into the organization. It
Yeah.
could actually be that you can even sometimes I think we've gotten as HRs we've gotten to the point where I've gotten the role, like like I know I'm actually about to close my role, and they tell me, you know what, the CEO is changing his mind. He doesn't want this person anymore.
Oh.
So yes, so sometimes you you think maybe it's actually you that actually maybe the candidate is actually the problem, but sometimes not usually the candidates. Sometimes you just hear, we are putting an hold to this the recruitment itself. We're putting a pause to the
Mm-hmm.
recruitment itself. So sometimes it's not usually about you. Seriously, it can actually be there are a lot of backstories that are going on in the organization that you may not even know, but they can just put you in the pipeline.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Well, that's like it's not you, it's us situation. Then we
exactly.
spoke a bit about ChatGPT and the use of AI, and that's like one of
Yeah.
the questions I have for you. How has that shaped the recruitment process? Because I mean, when you got in, it was like 2020, 2021 ish. It wasn't really a thing as much as it is today. And I'm applying for jobs. You see things like do not use ChatGPT for your cover letter. Don't use ChatGPT to answer the questions because we can tell and would flag your application. So, how would you say ChatGPT AI has changed the dynamics of the recruitment space, and how much do you think candidates should apply it? Should I use it to write my cover letter? Is it bad? Is it giving lazy? Is it giving someone that is not focused? What's the thing with ChatGPT? Has it aided it or has it really disrupted the space? What do you think?
So I'd say let me start with this quote of any toba more way, luma more way. No one is saying that you should
Mm,
not use AI. AI is actually is like it's what is in the trend right now. But no one is now saying you should not come and
yeah.
do la cram la poor. Even when you were in school, let's say OAU for example, if you write la cram, there's some lecturers that if you do la cram la poor for them, they would they will ill you. But even those same lecturers who want you to come and pick things from year, from north, south, east, west, and everywhere
Yeah.
and all of that.
Yeah.
So I'd say that for your cover letter, yes, you can actually use AI, but don't overuse it. Like you don't have to copy and paste AI word for word. We will know because there's actually a lot of things right now that you can actually just check. You see 90% AI. So you can
Yeah.
change things. I know that the other actually like other applications you can actually use, like I think like Quillbot. Yes, I think I also use Quillbot sometimes because after you actually use ChatGPT, you
Mm-hmm.
can actually rephrase it. You rephrase it to look as if it's like not actually not AI. You can also
Yeah.
sit down. You can also sit down, read what AI is actually giving to you, and rephrase it in your words. So you don't have to what's it called? Like use it word for word. That's actually my advice for anyone. You don't have to ChatGPT word for word because AI is not going anywhere. But
Yeah.
everybody wants someone the skills that every organization actually wants their worker to have is critical thinking, not la cram la poor.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if you are in maybe you're actually like maybe you're in maybe a meeting and they actually want to actually check like give them ideas. You go on ChatGPT, would you just give the company? ChatGPT is giving you what other people have actually done before. So every company
Yeah.
actually wants someone
True.
that is
True.
actually a critical thinker. Like there are some soft skills that you need to like grow on by yourself. Critical thinking. So yes, you can actually use ChatGPT, but are you also using it in your own words? What if you actually even got it from ChatGPT? Do you even understand it? because sometimes I've seen people who I've seen some people's cover letter and CV, and I'm like, this is are you serious? Okay, this is actually AI. Let me see what they can actually do, and they're telling me the same thing, like the same thing. Like, how can you apply what you've actually said from chat? Because ChatGPT will just give you what it's actually trained in, but can you actually
Yeah.
apply? Can you say this in your own words? And if you can't, seriously, even for I think I also advise to that, and especially whenever you actually have maybe technical questions that you actually maybe want to answer, or that's like assessments that you want to do. Yes, you can go use ChatGPT, but still use your own personal experiences to reshape this. Bring your own ideas in place. Every
Yeah.
organization actually wants you to be a critical thinking is one thing that if I ChatGPT cannot even think on its own. That's what me
Oh
actually
no,
like
ChatGPT
saying.
can be very dumb. Like, have you used
Yes.
ChatGPT to the point that you'd be like, "Are you dumb?" Like, what?
So seriously,
Actually,
so
yeah.
they've always been this back and forth of, yes, machines are going to take over a lot of work and everything. But to be sincere, if you actually a critical thinker, AI cannot take over your job. That's just the truth. Because AI cannot
Um,
think on its own. It's usually
I
automated.
have something to say about that though. I kind
Yeah.
of feel like we've always said it that AI is not taking our jobs. Entry level roles will still be there. Da 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 da. But have we seen how they've slim fitted entry level roles? Entry level roles are literally going into extinction. I know you can prove me wrong though, but like searching now, a lot of recruiters want people that are experienced. Like I'm talking to people and I've noticed that one question that HRs do not want to hear is what is the training process like? They don't expect you to be hyper focused on the training. Oh, they'll be like, in a week we would onboard you. It's very small. It's very easy. You get to know everything we use. Nobody wants to sit around to babysit you, to train you, because they believe that those entry level tasks, AI is able to like do them. So it has really cut out like for a lot of jobs. I mean, if you're probably entry level project manager now, what would you do? Maybe you'll be assisting with scheduling, you will assist with meeting organization. AI can do all those things. Like you just put it in the system and everything is being automated now to an extent, to a very large extent. So where they need people now is when it comes to like more of human interaction, taking things to the next level. And I'm like, AI is literally taking our jobs. You guys should stop fooling us. It is taking our job. It is taking the entry level roles, please. I strongly believe
Um,
this though.
Okay, so to some extent, yes, but to be sincere, when it now comes to interaction, confidence. Okay, let's
Yeah,
actually assume that AI has actually now giving you all of the things that you actually have to go and see and all of that, and it's actually time for you to present it. Will AI present it for you? So if you have
definitely
not
not.
built your communication skills, your interactive skills, the way you carry yourself, your confidence, charisma, to be sincere, AI is actually not going to. So even if you actually have all of the AI in future, all of the AI in your job, AI can really not take that job away from you, because even if there's actually not you to be there, of course. And I know there's actually like maybe this AI now that you that will actually even present it. I think I saw this online that you just have to like just type everything you actually say, and AI actually just start presenting it for you and all of that. But to be
That would be
sincere,
boring.
I
Yeah.
exactly. So you can see, because AI is not going to make a joke. Maybe what AI would just say is something like that. There is no AI doesn't
Yeah.
actually have that intuition. So even for entry level roles, what people actually want to see is someone who is actually learning to grow. So willing to grow on the job. Someone that's actually ready to learn and unlearn. Someone that's actually ready to pick a little bit of things. Someone that's actually ready to can actually communicate well. Someone that's actually very big on confidence. Someone that can actually interact well. Someone that can learn as fast as possible. Like, I'd
Mm-hmm.
say that a lot of people want to work with people that, like, maybe I'm saying something. I think my former boss, even after I know how good she is. After we've actually spoken about something, she will say, "What do you think about this?" And maybe I'm always okay. What about this and this and that? Like, people actually want you to actually question what they're actually saying, what they're actually
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
And to be sincere, even me, whenever I actually use ChatGPT, I see use things like, "Do you think I'm right with this?" Even whenever I know I'm
Yeah.
actually wrong in it. So it's just about how you actually use AI. So I think AI is just there to just make things easy for you, but you also need to also be able to use it, because there are some very very critical and nitty gritty things that AI cannot take over from.
Yeah.
That's why. So we actually still need people in the workplace.
No, definitely we do. And I feel like at the end of the day, the human touch is always needed, is always going to be
Yeah.
needed. And as a human being, in a world where everyone is using AI, what stands you out is your own voice, your own uniqueness. Like you said, your charisma, your energy. That's what stands you out. But now you have to like have a personality. That's just the only way out. That's how I say it. You cannot leave this world now, live in this our generation without a personality. It is really bad. You
Yeah.
just see yourself fading into the crowd and stuff. Yeah, that's really
Yeah.
nice. So you said the first thing you look at when someone applies, for a particular role is their CV. So what are the
Yeah.
things that turn you off in a CV? Like when you open a CV, what do you see and you just close it back and be like, no, get out. What are those turn offs?
So imagine you want to let me say probably I'm recruiting for another HR and I'm seeing things
Mm-hmm.
like your former experience, personal assistant. Why? So I think what I try to advise people is that that even if there's some general jobs that some people have actually done before that they can actually still fit into what's it called other roles. So please try to
Yeah.
tailor your CVs into different things.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like telling some people that you don't have to have just one CV. That's the funny thing. For a managerial position, you can pick one particular like fine tune your CV for that particular role. For some other things, you can just fine
Yeah.
tune your CV. But what I've actually seen right now is that maybe imagine what is it called? In my job advert, I already clearly stated 7 to 11 years experience, and you actually have just 2 years experience. You are applying. Why? You guys are stressing us.
The way you said you guys, you added me to the group chat. You guys,
Like
because I'm part of you. I'm
why?
part of them. Let me tell you something. I applied
Why?
for the role of a co-founder recently. Co-founder. I saw it there. They said 18 years
You
plus
are
of
very
experience. I
audacious.
applied. Have you met what God cannot do does not what? It does not exist. So they might see my CV, they'll see 6 and it will turn to 16. How about that?
Wow. 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 Okay. Okay.
Sometimes I actually do it like I should stop this behavior. It is bad behavior. But sometimes I'm just like, maybe they'll see the potential. Like I don't know.
Potential. Hmm. You people are very very mean, like extremely mean. I think even sometimes maybe whenever I know someone actually apply, like I would just say like what you said, what God cannot do, like just apply for it, just apply. Don't worry, you don't know what can actually happen. Just apply for it. But to be sincere, but maybe let's go back to people who even actually have the experience and they don't even finally get picked
Yeah.
for the role. So the truth actually about it is that you need to like tailor your CV in the right way, like from
Mm-hmm.
your profile, from the summary. Yes, from the summary, the way your CV is, your CV should not look tacky. That's just the truth. Your
Yeah.
CV, it should not look tacky. Sometimes even the font size, let the font size, let everything be the same. State out your skills, state out your experience, state out your achievements. For I think for
Mm-hmm.
my own CV, what I did was that I put in my what I've actually done, years, numbers, and all of that. I started out everything. I put in. I just think there's a particular part of my CV that actually has an achievement. So maybe if you're already getting bored
Yeah.
of what you've actually seen, so because the idea is that sometimes for just one role you can get 100 applications. That's just the
Yeah.
truth. And it can get very boring. I just have 24 hours in a day, and maybe it's just 8 hours. I actually just need to use to do my work. So what I actually just do is that you
Mm-hmm.
just like, so you have to like pick out the very very important thing. If you are applying for a, or is it called, let's say for an executive assistant. So of course there
Mm-hmm.
are a lot of other things that you can actually have. Maybe you have actually said that you've actually done personally, you're a personal assistant before, so no problem. But I
Mm-hmm.
think recently I was trying to close a role for a chef. And let me tell you something, that someone who is a personal assistant applied for the role of a chef because of the money.
Have you met personal assistants? We do everything, or they do everything. They do everything.
Wow.
They assist everywhere.
Hmm.
I'm
I
sure that
think
was the
yeah, I think
person's
another role I
logic.
was
Let me be the devil's advocate here. The person must have thought about it like this, like, I can't do anything through Christ that strengthens me. Let me apply for
Are you
this role and
serious for
see.
a chef, for an experienced chef? Okay. So to be sincere, I feel like I feel like maybe the person can see if the person actually maybe tailored his CV to, you know what,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, it's like, so maybe I like maybe some other cooking experience like actually maybe volunteering cooking experience. Maybe the person actually does maybe something, maybe backstory, backdoor. So like just tailor the CV in a way
Yeah,
that
yeah.
when I actually see, like when I actually first see it, because the first thing I actually check is your name. I check your name. The next time I'm checking what's it called, your summary. That's how me I do mine. I check your name. I check your summary, and I check. I go to your experience first personally. I check what you've
Mm-hmm.
actually done in experience. I just check maybe like the job title you've actually done so far. And when I see that, when I get to job
Mm-hmm.
title, it's not aligning with what I'm actually looking for. Before I start reading all of those bullet points that you've actually stated
Mm-hmm.
down, I would have just carried your CV away if I'm not getting what I want.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So for
That's
entry
another
level
thing I
roles, it's actually quite easier. For entry level roles, it's actually quite easier because you can want to get anybody for entry level role. Whenever it comes to maybe like people with 2 to 3 years experience or 4 years experience, there's some things that should actually be in your CV. Like some important things. Not that you want to do project manager and maybe what you've actually done before is, let's say, content creation. Why?
Yeah.
You can still
I mean,
still tailor that particular thing. Mm-hmm.
when I got my first job, I got it as like in customer service. I had not done that before, but I tailored my CV. I had worked in my mom's shop and I put it there, but I didn't put it as a shop. I put enterprise. I put the name of our store and I was like,
Exactly.
I worked there as, sales, whatever, whatever. Then I used my dad's company. Those were my two experiences on my CV when I got my first job. But
See,
like I had written it down and it felt like, oh, this person is experienced. And I actually was experienced. I just found a way to communicate it better. If I had put maybe
yeah.
shop, I was in my mom's store, nobody would like, they wouldn't have given me the attention that
Thank
they gave me
you.
or something. Yeah. So I think
Yeah.
that is very important. And now that I'm moving to projects management, I have had to like tailor my CV again. Putting operations, putting project assistance
Exactly.
coordinator, just changing terms a little bit. I think that helps a lot and not just
Make
making it
the
very generic. And so, yeah, yeah,
Yes,
you're right.
make the
And
term very sweet, so that when we see it,
yes,
we are
exactly.
like our head is swelling. Like this person, and the funny thing about it is that when you now finally even get to the like, because sometimes people actually tell us that it is like that, and the next thing is that when you now bring them to the interview, some people will not be able to defend their CVs. I think I've had this communication when I asked you said so and so in your CV about this and that, and the person just went blank,
Are you serious?
and that
That's the
yes,
least they could do.
and that's when you now see that AI you've gone and used ChatGPT a lot, or you paid someone to write your cover letter or your CV.
CV. Do people
Yes,
still do that? That's waste of time.
yes,
But I
yes
want to
they
put
do.
you. They still pay.
Yes they do.
If you're listening to this right now, just use AI. Use AI. Sit yourself down and look for. I think
Yeah,
this Harvard style CV is the best style. If I don't know when
yeah.
I'm editing this, if I have like time and all, I'll put what it looks like on the screen. It's just very easy to read and it's just very easy. It goes easy on the eyes. So the Harvard style
Mm-hmm.
CV is great. I was going to put you on the spot as well. So when I'm reading job ads, because now I'm a bit more intentional about the kind of job I want. So I've been reading job
Yeah.
ads a lot to the T. Then I see things like generous compensation. What is that? What I think that's what turns me off. What do you mean by generous? Are you people running an NGO? Am I here to do like the Lord's work? What is generous compensation? I feel like those two words should not stand side by side. No. What is generous about the compensation? It's like we are generous. And when you see the value, it is never generous. It is far from being generous. Generous compensation is
No,
never Huh? Let me tell you,
no. So
when companies are proud, when companies are proud of what they're offering you, they'll put the money there between this,
are you
depending on your
serious?
experience. Da, 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 da. Yes, when they say generous compensation, hey, run. It is never generous. Okay, so I want to understand why do people use generous compensation? Is it a way of luring people in to just apply? They will talk about the salary later, or what's the law behind using generous compensation?
Well, to some extent, me, I'm someone that I don't like stress at all. So whenever I am even doing my roles, I'm not going to lie. I will tell you what the salary is. That's just the truth. I
Mm-hmm.
would always tell you what salary. I think this was something I learned from Jobber Man. I don't
Yeah.
like it my time. I really don't like anyone
Mm-hmm.
that's wasting my time. So generous compensation. So sometimes, not sometimes HRs also have bosses too that will tell you that keep the salary hidden. That's it. I think for some they'll tell you open to negotiation. There are some like that will tell
Mm.
you negotiation. So sometimes it's usually requirements of who clients are, maybe the company or the clientele or something. So it's really not HR
Okay.
fault, because I don't think any HR actually wants anybody to actually stress them or even waste their time, because something, imagine maybe you finish the role and everything, and the salary is not even favorable. You have to like go back again. So that's
And
when I
start
start
afresh.
negotiation stage.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's like one of the things that I detest the most. Like it's can
Mm-hmm.
actually it looks like it's time wasting. But I'd say that, and to be funny about it, that it's actually not just all officers that is actually not cool. Maybe salary is not cool. I think I'm trying to close a role right now, and I think one of my colleagues just said, you know what, let's put open to negotiation there. Or I think
That
I
is
said that highly
different.
competitive, highly
That is
competitive.
different.
Uh,
Generous. The term I have issues with is generous compensation. When it's open to negotiation, it's like maybe you guys want to see how you can flex. Like the salary could be cool. You just want somebody like the other guy did, someone that would negotiate and just to test
yeah.
the person. But like that generous compensation, no, it is never generous. You guys, if you're listening to this right now, in the comment section, please let me know. Have you seen a job ad with generous compensation? Then you see the compensation and it is indeed generous. Let me know. But talking about negotiating like your salary and what you want to earn, do you think there's like how do you think people can go about it? Because I feel like I still have issues with communicating my worth when it comes to like monetary like worth, just putting it in numbers and be like, oh, this is the amount I want to earn. I get scared. I don't want to send the recruiter away. I don't want to, me too. I'm going to call an amount that I feel will be comfortable for both of us. So do you think would you advise me next time when I'm negotiating my salary, I should just say the amount I want to earn and what the HR bend to my bidding? Or how do you think I should go about it? Or when next they ask me like how much you want to earn, should I throw it back at the HR? What's your budget? How should I go about that negotiating phase? What do you think should be done that would get me the highest, the one that is the highest level of the highest range of the salary budget?
Okay, so to be sincere, you can never really tell. Only if you actually have someone inside or someone in house that can actually help you know how much your salary
Yeah.
is. And there are actually a lot of people that they are willing to, I think for some roles, like even maybe so. I've actually asked my current boss now, like, what do you think is the like how much can you pay? She's telling me that so far I actually get someone that's actually very experienced. I'm willing to go as far as how
Mm-hmm.
much the person actually wants. That's how cool she is. And to be sincere, my advice for everyone is that never shoot yourself on the foot. If you know that what's it called, by the time you remove your transport fare and everything, so far you know
Yeah.
where the organization is, like don't shoot yourself on the foot. If you feel like your worth is 1 million naira, tell them this
Mm-hmm.
is actually what I feel like I can actually collect for the role, because you can never tell, the role may actually be much more than that. So, and I think another thing
Mm-hmm.
again I like to actually advise people is don't be too scared to know your worth.
Yeah.
Really, don't be too scared to know your worth, and be very confident when you're actually saying this. I think one there was one time I was actually having one interview, and like I was actually the candidate, and I think it was for like an intern role, and the person was like, what, how much do you want to collect? And I said the amount. The person was like, for you, this small girl.
Really?
Yes, I was like, yes, that's actually what I feel like I can, because, and I told the person by the time I take transport out and this and that and everything, this
Mm-hmm.
actually was going to be left, and I feel like this is actually, and in other things I've actually seen in the role too. And I think for some other thing again, I also like saying that you can always go on Glassdoor to check that, like a lot of things online I can actually check. Maybe you can also go check on Glassdoor.
Yeah.
What do you think is the
Mm-hmm.
appropriate salary for this and this, so that you also know you're not also overshooting yourself in the foot. And another thing I also like to say again is that if you're also lucky to have maybe someone in house that could actually ask from, or
Mm-hmm.
you can actually also ask other HRs too, because for every role, there's actually this I can't remember the terminology. There's actually this grade for every role that you're actually doing. Many HRs know this the salary grade and salary band. So
Yeah.
I'll actually advise you, maybe for any role that you actually want to do, you can always reach out to any of your HR colleague to ask, I actually got this particular role, what do you think I should actually bargain for the salary? They'll actually tell you, because many
Mm.
HRs usually know like all of the salary band for many salaries too. And another thing again is that if you feel like 1 million is your worth with your experience and all of that, please still ask for it. By the time you
Yeah.
bobo them and see everything, even if that is not the amount, they will be ready. So far you actually have the experience, they will be ready to even overshoot their budgets for you.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, that's
Okay.
just, so don't
Okay.
be
That's
scared. Don't be scared for it. Yeah.
Don't be scared to ask for what you're worth. Like, say it.
Say it.
So do you interview people for a particular industry, for a particular sector? Is it like niche based, or you just interview people generally? And if you're interviewing people like across board, how do you know where they are saying the right things or where they are saying rubbish? Because like, I mean, you don't have deep knowledge of what they're talking about. Imagine interviewing someone for a tech role, maybe a developer, and he's talking about HTML and all those things, and you're like, do you get lost? And have you ever asked like someone you're interviewing a very stupid question in quotes, but you know that question you don't know what's going to like happen, but you just asked it because you were just on the spot yourself. For instance, there was one interview I did, and the guy asked me how many cars are on Lagos Road right now. That was the question he asked me when I was interviewing for a product management role, and I was like, I can't remember how I answered that question, but I got the role. And I think I answered based on, I can't say, but I said rubbish, but the rubbish, I think both of us were just capping. Well, I can't remember what I said, but I just used, like, we just carried it. So, like, have you ever been in that position as well, where you have to, like, ask someone question or interview someone and you don't really know much about their area of expertise? How do you finesse your way through the interview session?
Okay, so first thing first, people feel like HR work is just, just come and talk and boba and everything. But the first thing about what
Yeah.
an HR does is to understand the job description. So even before you even
Mm.
go to that interview and everything, or I have gone to go and deep and search and everything. And that's why sometimes it looks as if maybe if someone actually asks me questions about some things, at least even if I may not be able to say like an expertise, I'll be able to answer it to
Mm.
some extent. So the first thing, if you actually
Mm.
understand the job description, what I do personally is that I even go as far as actually asking the hiring manager, what are the things that you need for this role? What are the things that you actually feel like you actually need to know? But for I'd say that as a generalist, because that's what I do. I'm actually like more like a generalist. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so the additional general question you can actually ask, and most importantly, HRs, what we actually do if you're just having an interview with an HR, like a one-on-one HR, so like actually an HR, what we actually ask for are culture fit questions. Then maybe we'll now after you now say
Mm.
yes, yeah, after when you now say you're not like probably like a culture fit and maybe some other background general knowledge about the role, not like the real depth, in-depth thing. So then maybe we can
Yeah.
also probably now tell you that we're putting you to the next stage to meet now the more experienced person. So even if
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
so that's what we actually do. But most of the time, as an HR, you actually need to understand what the job description is because if you're going to move the person to the very next stage, you also need to have actually ask some personal questions. So what me I do is I like making my research. I think for the time that for one particular role, I have to go and meet the manager. What do you think about this? Why do you need this? What is what's actually what you need for
Yeah.
this? And me, I would ask you plenty questions, like because I don't want to be taken for a fool. Because I think it was the time when I had one like my very first interview that I did when I said I actually worked with my
Chamberlain.
Tolani. She
Oh,
no
okay.
not Japan man, yeah, with Tolani in Postal Consulting.
Mhm.
She one candidate actually asked me a particular question. And I was so like I was just thinking like what's this person asking? And it was actually Tolani that told me that no, you also have to make your research. I was able to actually answer the question. And this role was for a tech role. So
Yeah.
and when I actually asked her out, she told me that you should have actually asked some questions. You should have gone to like you still need to understand the role. You cannot just I know
Mm-hmm.
for some so I think I'll say maybe for lazy HRs, they would just want to just win things. But aside from culture of fitness, you need before you can actually put someone to the next stage. You can even have maybe another person in the interview, maybe someone that is maybe someone like maybe like another person from that department. Sometimes we do that. Another person,
Yeah.
and for instance, the person may not even say anything at all, but the person is actually there listening to what you're actually saying. But most of the time, if it's just you and HR and it's not an HR related role, they are just asking general questions or they just want to move to the next stage based on
Yeah.
cultural fitness. So that's just it.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. So let's check up on you as an HR. Do you get tired conducting interviews back to back, or is your job and you just enjoy it? I mean, you can still two truths can coexist. You can get tired and also enjoy your job. So, like, does it take a toll on you emotionally having to talk to like people back to back?
Yes, it does sometimes because if I was just a recruiter, I think I'll just say that's just it because so you know that they are in HR, they are HR generalists and they are HR specialists. And what I've been doing currently all my life is HR generalist, where I'm not just doing
Yeah.
recruitment, I'm doing training and development, I'm doing performance management, I'm doing employee engagement and
Oh, that's
motivation.
a
I'm
lot.
doing yes, like exactly. So it can actually be a lot. And in as much as this, sometimes at least in a month, you are doing recruitment every single month, for every single week, and all of that. So it gets tiring. But I think the joy that comes with it is when you close that role and you bring the right
Mm,
person on board and you onboard that person and you see how the person is actually growing. That's actually what I think that's actually what comes as passion for me because and that's why I said I don't think I want to be a specialist in one place. I think I
yeah.
always love being a generalist because I'm bringing the person on board. I'm seeing how you're growing. I'm onboarding you. I'm trying to lead you to this and that. I'm checking out your performances so far. I'm checking how you actually engage with other persons and all of that. So that's what me actually
Mm-hmm.
find joy. That's actually my own purpose. But sometimes it can actually get overwhelming because to be sincere, maybe I have to sit in like maybe let's say 7 interviews, and after like
Yeah.
maybe like 30 minutes for one interview, sometimes 45 minutes, I'm already burnt out. So sometimes
Actually,
it can get
sorry.
yes. Sometimes it's actually very and imagine after you now do let's say like maybe you meet like 7 candidates and inside the 7 candidates you can't find anybody, so you go back again. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you
Yes.
always
Yeah. It
recruit
can.
the right
It gets
candidate?
very annoying.
Yeah, it
What you
sounds
say?
very repetitive as well. It sounds very repetitive and like something that if
Yes.
you don't find joy in it, you really get tired and just bored. So have you recruited
Yeah.
the wrong candidates before? How did that feel? Like, or it has never happened with you. It has always been the right person.
I think that I would say that I think that actually happened to me before, that I felt like the person was the right candidate, and when the person came on board, I started seeing how the person was messing up. I was so
Yeah.
pained. Yes. So
How did you
but I
rectify the
think
situation? How did you salvage it
performance
like?
management or performance
Oh.
management. In fact, I was on this person's case. You look as if me and the person was actually enemies. Even before the person boss would have actually said something, me, I've come and put my mouth there. But actually performance management, I was very key on. You actually have to improve year and year and year.
Mhm.
So actually more performance management. And yeah, that's actually where training and development also comes into place too. And that's a method I really like
Yeah.
being a generalist, because can also share like maybe different online courses that you can actually go and check anywhere to also give to the person. You can also get this person mentors and all of that. So that's actually how I was actually able to rectify the case, because please, no, it would never be aired off that Tofunmi recruited the wrong person. I beg. It will never be
Yeah,
aired off.
I
So,
like
and
that
what I do
energy
again,
because yeah,
yes,
just
and,
like
and what I do
lawyers
again is
take.
that I am always there. Thing is that like I'm always there every single point. Like at least for the first, I know that's actually how I am. It's the point I
Mhm.
think yeah, and like calling me Gen Z HR. So what I do is that I will follow you to the nitty gritty and everything. I'll be checking up on you. What did you do today? So it can actually look as I think some people have actually told me
Yeah.
that I'm into their personal life too much. I'm like, sorry, it's not. I just want you to just be the best, because I don't want to be the one that will now have to like take the fall for it. Because if you do not do well,
Yeah.
what they will tell me is the same me that will go and look for. I'll be the one to have to fire
Go through that
you
process
and get a
again. Yeah.
replacement. Exactly. So what I would do is I will be on your case. I'm asking you questions. Sometimes after the first week, the second week, I'm asking you, do you actually have a friend? Do you have like a body right now? What are you actually finding
Mhm.
difficult? Is there anybody that's actually stressing you out right now? How
Yeah.
can you actually what are the skills that you feel like you can actually like start taking right now? What's actually your plan for the next 1 year, 2 years? Are you ready to take your masters? I'll ask you questions. I say it can actually be
Oh.
a lot sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. But talking about 1 year, 2 years, your plans, I hate when they ask me, what are your plans for the next 5 years? You guys, let me be. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. But yeah, we've had a
So you
very,
have to know,
very
please. You actually have to know. You
really that
have to
question is
know, because
important.
yes, it is actually, because so from that sometimes we know if someone is going to last on the job. So many organizations do not want people that are job on, like they're just job
Hopping.
upping up and
Yeah.
down. Yeah, job upping up and down. Mm-mm. So
Does
sometimes at
that
least someone that will not. Okay,
does that affect how you see a
no, go ahead.
candidate? Like when you check my resume and you
Yes,
see that I spent 6 months, 6 months, 1 year, does that like would you look at me in a kind of way? Even when I have
yes. Okay,
explanation
so for
as to
many
why I left those
HRs,
places.
yes. So for
Even when I
many
have
HRs,
okay,
especially. Okay, so for
you can
many
go on.
HRs, if it's actually tech, I mean, I think for tech, I think for the tech bros and techies right now, even if they are job upping up and down, I think they usually get scot free with it, because everybody needs that tech mindset and all of that tech person. But there are also some kind of rules that if I see you actually spend 6 months, I know you're a flight risk, and I don't think I want after 6 months I will now want to. So to be said personally, me, I don't like if I see that you actually have all of the skills and all of that, and maybe I'm seeing your resume, I'm seeing 6 months, 3 months, 2 months. Maybe I'll say that maybe the ideal thing is at least use 2 years in the organization, or maybe 1 year and a half.
There could be
Because
a story
I know people.
behind it. We have a
So
story to
while I actually
tell.
I know that there's this very very funny mindset that will tell you that if you are not learning or growing on the job, still leave the job. Yeah, so maybe that can actually be the back story. But to be sincere, before you got
Mhm.
that job, I'll tell you that before you got that job, you already knew some things. That means maybe it was actually just the money that actually attracted you to the job. And for the kind of person that me I am, I like meeting people that actually sees value in their work, like see value. Because if you actually maybe after background story or not, maybe you just got bored, maybe you're not meeting your targets. Like there's always like a lot of things there at least before you actually sack you, or maybe before you sack yourself. So to
Let
be
me give you another
sincere,
POV. I have
okay,
like questionable experiences in my CV, and it's because I do a lot of things at the same time. Because the economy is hard. Because we need to
so
make
money.
money.
Oh wow, money is
No,
your own drive.
I'm very passionate about whatever I do. Honestly, I've not worked in a place where my former bosses will not tell you that this person, gave their all to this company. The last one I worked at was 6 months, and of course they hired me for a contract based position. and they had like some issues, so they couldn't bring me on board. And maybe
So put
sometimes
it
I'm
there
doing a
on your
full-time role.
CV. So put it there on
I
your
should.
CV, 6 months contract.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
So I
okay,
know. So
okay.
so when I see that, I know that it was actually contract based, and that's why I said that
Contract
tech
role.
tech guys, tech people, tech bros and sis, they get away scot free with it because we know that for them that like they're doing a lot of things. If a tech bro or sis is telling me that they're just doing one thing, right? I don't usually believe it. I don't usually believe because they know
Yeah.
that like their work actually gives them that all
Freedom.
round you can
Yeah.
do a lot of things at the same time. But for maybe we are trying to come in for as a customer experience specialist, and maybe I said that you work 6 months here, you work 1 year here. Before after that, you worked another 6 months. Then maybe another time was like 3 months, and these are not contract based jobs. I already
Okay. I would.
automatically
I
see
would
you as a
add
flight
that to
risk.
my CV.
So
Oh,
you can
okay. I
just
will
open
add
a
that to
just
my.
put it, even if it's been just a 1 year contract, you can put the contract. Maybe for some you can put it volunteering, put it in the little
Yeah.
bit of brackets. So it actually doesn't it allows people to, okay, this person is actually doing much more than this. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Tofumi, we've had a very good conversation. Like, I want us to keep going. Like, I have so many questions because I'm like, why? I have so many questions, but like, I mean, our time is fast spent and we've spoken about so
Yeah.
many things. Anybody listening to this now, I'm sure you guys have learned a lot. I know you've gone to open your resume, you're updating things, you're opening your cover letter. But before we let you go, as an HR professional, would you say you have totally figured out what makes an interview go well, or you are still in the process of figuring it out?
I'll say that I'm still in the process because the funny thing is that an interview can go well with you, and when it gets to the final say, everything just, in fact, the person that you feel like will get the job will not get it. Maybe your line manager or the hiring manager just sinks to another person. So it can be very, very funny. So to be sincere, I don't think anybody has figured out the 100% way whenever it comes
Yeah.
to interviews. So sometimes, you already know with your candidates and you're like, they're going to pick this person. I'm so sure of it. And for some other
Mm-hmm.
persons, maybe that I don't know, maybe the person just gets cold feet at that last minute and just everything just scatters. So to be said, I don't think anybody actually has figured out anything, like everything when it comes to interviews.
Exactly, exactly. I was expecting you to say that. I thought you said I figured it out. I was to say, are you sure? But yeah, thank you so much for me. Today's conversation has been so good. Like I've picked up things already that I want to update my CV with the contract position thingy.
Yeah.
Just make sure that it reflects my experiences appropriately. And yeah, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for coming on the pod. Did I forgot to tell people to subscribe? Jesus Christ! Oh, if you're listening right now,
Please
I
subscribe.
yes, please subscribe. Like there's a goal we have to meet, a goal of 1K subscribers by the end of the year. And when we started the year, we were on 285, I think. And as of yesterday, we're already on 299. Hopefully, we're going to hit 300 soon. And in fact, we hit 1K before the end of the year. So if you're listening now, just like, share, subscribe, share this podcast with anybody you know that applies to job with generic CV. Send it to them. Let them fix their ways. Send it to anybody that is in the job market right now. They'll learn one or two from this conversation. So for me, do you have anything you want to say before you go? Do you want them to follow you on your social media handles or you're cool? Do you just have anything you want to say before you leave?
Okay, so I'd say that for 2026, I don't think anybody actually has this figured out yet. So try to grow your skills, be ready to learn, unlearn, and relearn in 2026. I'll say that tailor your CV well. There are some organizations that actually even help you tailor your CVs. I think Jobberman actually does that. I think till now they
Yeah.
actually help you with your CVs, and even yes, and I'll say actually apply for jobs. Like there are a lot of applications that you can actually use to apply for jobs right now. Like you can get like a lot of jobs. You can go on like Jobberman websites. You can check like
Mm-hmm.
Indeed, like a lot of. Please just apply for this job and grow your skills, learn your skills. Like I think Jobberman actually has some like the soft skills learning, soft skills
Yeah.
training. That yes, for even
Yeah.
people who
I
does not have
have
like
the
a lot of experience
certificates.
too.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So there's actually a lot of things that you can actually do. Like just ensure that 2026, even I myself, I have things that I am currently learning. I think I've been procrastinating for like 2 years about some skills I actually I want to learn. I know, yeah, procrastination
Mm-hmm.
is a tip of time, but seriously, just you can actually just start something. And I
Just
think another thing I
that.
also say is that yes, also try to also learn like any tech skills. There are organizations like She Code Africa that even teaches you some it doesn't have to be coding. It can just maybe data analytics or anything. Like, just be
Yes.
there, just ready to improve yourself, like no matter what, because you don't know which of the skills that you would later need in future. So just be ready
Exactly.
to grow, ready to like just yes, just ready to just impact in yourself because you will never know. That's just the fun. You never know.
Yeah.
So
And you
just be
want
ready and give yourself to learning.
you want the opportunity to meet you prepared. You don't want the opportunity to come, then you
Yes.
don't know how to do this, you don't know how to do that. So be open to learning, like Tofumi has said. So Tofumi,
Yes.
thank you so
Yes.
much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Clock it. Um,
Clock it. I'm not a social media person. Maybe on LinkedIn, you can follow me on LinkedIn, but I'm not a social media person. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll be so bored. I don't post anything. Maybe once in a
so your
year.
LinkedIn is what?
So sorry.
Tofumi.
It's Oluwa Tofunmi or Olafimi on. You could just you could
All
just like
right.
I'm sure that maybe when you follow me, other people are actually following that are also following me. Whenever they post jobs, you can always like also see it too.
All
Yes,
righty.
and I think
Thank you so
another thing I actually
much.
want to say is that if you actually have a LinkedIn account, update your LinkedIn profile.
I've been
Yes.
doing that. All my achievements, I'm pointing it on LinkedIn. You people are gonna see it. You people have to see it. This girl is back. Yeah, that's
Yes.
very important
So
as well.
and follow the right people, connect with the right people on LinkedIn, connect with the
Yeah.
people that are in your and are in the same niche with you. So connect with
Mm-hmm.
them. Just ensure you sleep and maybe try to post things once post. I think people say post your achievements and all that. Me, I don't. I don't know why because I don't think it's my own thing. I don't think it's actually my thing, but I know that for someone out there, if you're a content creator, I think you should post, you should like let people see your work. So there's
Yeah.
for a project manager to let people see your work, for an HR too, I think people actually need to see your work for everything. So post your achievements because this actually allows you to reach more people and more connects. And I think
Yeah.
yeah, and last I'll say put yourself out there. Be very audacious. For me, I think I was usually very shy about a lot of things. I did not blow my trumpet. I think that's actually my final say. I didn't blow my trumpet well. And I feel like I should have. I wasn't very
Yeah.
confident, but I think right now, so yes, be very audacious, be very confident, and blow your trumpet. Nobody would help you. Loyalty doesn't help you in the organization
Nobody.
anymore. Yes. Loyalty
Nobody's going
doesn't
to help
help you in your organization
you.
right now. Yeah, exactly. So blow your trumpet by yourself. Whenever you do things, write them down, your achievements, the nitty gritty of your achievements, write everything out. You can tell your boss about the things that you're doing, tell people about things you're actually doing, sell yourself and be confident.
Yeah. Let people know what you're doing. Thank you, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. And see you guys on the next episode of the pod. Bye bye. Bye
Bye
that you said.
guys. Ensure to subscribe.
Bye. Exactly. Don't forget, subscribe, like, and share. Bye.